What's up? Welcome to the channel. Make sure to hit that subscribe button right there. Today's video is all about the Shadow 1100 Sabre. What's up? I definitely wouldn't recommend getting this bike if you're new to riding, but if you're already an experienced rider, as a second bike, Shadow 1100 is the way to go. Some positive things that I love about this bike: it's got lots of power. The throttle response is great. You know, this is a carbureted bike. It's not fuel injected. It's 2002, which, do I wish it was fuel injected? Yes, I do. But for being carbureted, it's a great bike, and you wouldn't even notice it was carbureted. Once it's warmed up, runs like a normal fuel injected bike. Something that I really loved about this bike is just the paint colors. I love the flames. It looks a little bit fierce, but not too flashy. Just perfect what I was looking for. It's got a lot of chrome on it. I think this was Honda's version of the Harley Fat Boy. So you can tell by the rims, these are kind of Fat Boy rims. They got the solid effect. The Shadow SABRE is like the Harley Fat Boy of the Honda world. This thing leans pretty hard. I came off a 600 sports bike, Honda. Always had Honda, love them. Leans pretty hard, this bike. Like, foot pegs are in a good spot, so you can really shred. A motorcycle, it's transportation, yes, but it also soothes the need in your soul for enjoyment. A motorcycle to me is something that you care for on a deep spiritual level. Yes, it's just some parts and an engine, but when you have a motorcycle, you take it to the next level, and that love is there. This bike has fabulous lean. With this foot pegs where they are, you can really get a good lean on this bike. You gotta watch out though, because this bike is 1100 cc, so it does have the power to really, become dangerous if you're not paying attention or you're inexperienced. The winter is hands down the best time to buy a bike, because people are hungry for cash, they're not thinking about riding, and they just want to get rid of the bike and get that cash in their hands. We enjoy bikes. I really want to give you the full experience, so if you're looking for a new bike, I want to allow you to see what this bike looks like, really try and express how the bike is as much as possible. And maybe it's something for you. So this Shadow is 1100cc liquid cooled engine, 2-cylinder V. It's got the displacement, it's carbureted, twin disc brakes, front and back disc brakes. It's a 5-speed transmission. So this bike is 100% stock. I did actually order a driver's backrest seat. I bought this bike for comfortability. I've ridden my dad's Harley. It's a Cadillac of bikes. And it's got a backrest for the driver, and it just feels unreal. When you're on the highway and you're just hammering it, after a long ride, makes your back feel less fatigued and just better all around. shift smooth, great bike, solid bike, heavy. I don't recommend getting 1100 for your first bike. If you're looking in the market for your first bike, you want to get something that has longevity as far as power, but you want to get something that's also forgiving. And what I mean by forgiving is it doesn't have so much power. When you're first starting to learn how the power connects to the wheels, that's a tricky area. Like, it's a tricky area with these rocks right here. It's not easy. You know, in the motorcycle world, we look out for each other. I appreciate all different bikes. Shifts good. I'm going to try synthetic oil in there next time, see if it makes a difference. Apparently synthetic oil will make it shift even smoother, but everything seems fine. I'm happy with this bike. I actually bought this bike for $4,000 Canadian. The story with this bike is the guy bought it, brand new. Then he rode it for a bit and things got busy in his life and he was riding less and less. He actually didn't have a garage, so what he did was he built a ramp to get the bike into his living room. So he actually stored the bike basically in climate controlled storage for its entire life for basically 19 years. Which is pretty awesome. When I heard that, I was just kind of blown away. You care about your bike like you care about, you know, your baby, your own child. Shadow SABRE, 1100, 6,100 kilometers on it. This bike's just broken in. Some of the things that are good about this bike, one thing to note about this bike is that it has no fuel gauge. So there's really no way, most old school bikes didn't have a fuel gauge of any kind. So what I do is I fill the bike up, I set the trip, and roughly once I'm at 150K, then I know that I'm gonna need to refuel my bike very soon. Or I know that pretty soon, if I keep riding, I'm gonna be switching to reserve. And that's the thing with this bike, it's got this reserve right here. So you switch to that, and that's basically what you do on these older bikes that didn't have a fuel gauge. Some of the new ones, and I'd expect any new cruisers just to have a fuel gauge built in somewhere on the dash, or maybe this dash would be digital or something, right? But very nice bike. Handles feel good. Sounds good. Stock sounds awesome. You know, everything feels like it's in the right place. Your lights, your signals, your horn. I believe these are the stock grips. They feel good. And front brake, everything feels great. There's obviously tons of different modifications you could make. But, you know, I really love this bike. Brake, foot position in the right spot. Gears, pretty good spot there. I'm happy with all that for sure. Your key right down here. Start it up, we got a reserve. So you just hear that, we got our rod fan kicking on there. Holy shit, this light sucks. This bike, look at that nice lean corner. Bike's got plenty of torque, plenty of power, for a great price, great bike, Honda reliability. I think this is an exceptional used bike to keep your eyes open for. If you're looking for a cruiser and you want to, you know, spend under $5 grand, depending, like I get this one for $4 grand, so you can get a good deal on this. Brakes on this bike are smooth. There's no ABS on this bike. So if you're new to riding, that's another thing. I would recommend, if possible, that you should get an ABS bike, just so that you don't end up locking your wheels up and having some type of a problem. Because if you're new to riding, or if something jumps out on the road, for instance a deer, or you have to make a quick reaction to someone stopping, you might not have full control and quick reflexes and smooth reflexes with your brakes. So ABS basically is a system that can help you brake easier. But this bike doesn't have it, but not really concerned about it because I have built up over time more confidence with braking on the bike. Bike's awesome, you know. It's going to be easier for you to lock up the wheels and slide. That's how a lot of motorcycle accidents happen.